Morning. It is 21 minutes past 11 in Spain time, and it's. Wait, no,
No.
fuck me. I don't know, because my laptop's in bloody UK time and my phone's in Spanish time. Look at me, international idiot. Um, so, no, it's 21 past 11 for James, and it's 21 minutes past 12 for me. How are you doing?
Are you asking me or the viewers?
No, I'm asking you, the only person.
the only other person here.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We slowly getting back into a schedule of doing some recording.
Yeah, and
I'm behind
finally.
on actually uploading anything, but
Well, I finally got off my arse and started editing again. So you've actually got better time because there's
better
like
time.
5 still for me to do.
Yeah, we'll just suddenly make a triumphant comeback in the new year, and
That's when all this New Year growth is going to happen in January, the notoriously worst time for anyone on YouTube or online creating things ever.
yeah. But new year, new us. It'll work.
Well, yeah, we're fine.
So we've both been lacking in films, or like mostly rewatching as opposed to having new things to talk about.
Yeah,
So we're probably going to talk about games,
I think so. Video games this week.
and I'm kind of in the mood to chat about some of the games I used to play, some of the nostalgia games back when it was me and my brother watching each other play the single player games we
Yeah,
had, or we were both playing because we'd gone to like the local library and so could both be on a computer. And that rare occasion where it was actually local co-op and we could both fight over the keyboard, which was
that's classic sibling shit there.
yeah. But that was good times. But mostly PC for me, mostly PC
Yeah,
games. Although you were probably on some kind of console.
yeah, mostly consoles for me. I didn't get a PC till I was 17. I had laptops, but not like a PC that could actually play video games.
I
And now
mean,
it's
this
all the
was like
shit.
the family computer, and like we were running Flash games, you know.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
We used to be like one of our favorites was a website called notdoppler.com,
Okay.
which was like it used to have a new Flash game, or like I can't remember if it was like I think every week on something like a Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
it updated with a new batch of Flash games.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So you could look at like this week's Flash games. I think it was weekly. It could have been daily or something. It's ages ago now, but
Yeah.
that's what we used to like to do because we wouldn't be like going and buying games or anything. So we'd be playing all these free Flash games, and then like we could play on the computer, and that's what we often played in the library computers. And we'd sometimes go with the neighbours,
Okay.
and we'd all find to play. And they were the Flash games. They were obviously like nowadays it's all mobile, like shitloads
Yeah.
of the stuff in the mobile app store that you have to pay for. It has a load of micro transactions. Used to be free Flash games that you could just play in browser.
Yeah. Super chill.
So like, I remember one we used to play a lot was one called like Raise, which was like this. So it's like side-on 2D shooter.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like WAS to move, and then you've got the mouse as like your like firing, and it just being like probably like terribly violent, and that's why we like mad about it. But it was like it was stuff like that plus a shitload of like puzzle games and occasionally like a decent like strategy one. So
Nice. Yeah, you always got a proper mix with Flash games. I didn't play too many, but like I think I think it's is it like fairly soon or it might have already happened that Adobe Flash Player is like gone, so you can't play Flash games anymore, something like that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, certainly, like certain devices, it does not work on. Um, like already, it's tricky. But
Such a shame.
it's sad. Like I don't know if you ever played like any of like the Lego ones, like on the Lego website.
No, I played like on like Lego games on console, but I never played because they have some like crazy like RPGs and shit, right? Like
Yeah,
on the Lego site.
there was some real great stuff. There was like this Matanui game, the Bionicle one that I loved playing.
That's so cool.
There was a fun puzzle one called Junkbot, who like he was like a robot that you needed to get to eat the bins. So you had to build in Lego for him to be able to
Ah,
walk, and you only had like a certain number of moves or like pieces to do it.
right, right.
That was like a puzzle, and you had to try and do it like cleverly to get him to like all the different locations.
I quite like that. It's quite. I think there's a game called Oddworld where it's not Lego, but you're basically traversing through the environments. There's like a whole crazy story, and like it looks like the aesthetic is really cool, but it's literally all about getting the slaves, or the people you're trying to free from being slaves, out of the level into the next part of the story. Sounds
Right.
fairly,
Okay.
but not less about building stuff, more about interacting with the environment. But I like the concept. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun when I don't know. It was very. I don't even know what the right word is. You felt very involved, and it
Yeah,
got your brain going, um, and but also was just like fun and colourful. And it was one of these
it
where
is.
it didn't have like a par, I don't think, but it probably had like a. If you did it in fewer moves, you got a bonus.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like where you're encouraged to, like you get more stars or something like that. There was actually, now that I think about it, there was a lot of Lego games
Yeah,
on, because there
I
was
bet.
also a. Did you ever play with like the Johnny Thunder Lego?
No, what's that?
So Johnny, he was kind of like an Indiana Jones type character,
Oh, okay,
but
yeah.
he's Johnny Thunder. And they had this like maze that you would go through where you had like several different characters you could switch between. And it's
Yeah.
one of these where you need someone to go stand on the button to open the door to move this one through.
Right, right,
And so
right.
you've got to like move all these different characters through the maze to the treasure. And that was quite a fun one as well.
Yeah. It sounds like they were less about controlling, like you are this character, you are moving around, and more about directing and doing placements and think getting yeah, like you're a little bit you're involved, but you're almost like outside of it.
Yeah, it wasn't like they were just very different kinds of games. Like most
Yeah.
of the Flash games, there was like some real weird stuff. Like, did you ever play the Impossible Quiz? That's one that just came to my
No,
mind.
but
It's real
I've
weird.
heard of it. I know of the Impossible Quiz.
That was another. It had the theme. It had the Rocky theme tune playing whilst you play, so it's like so intense, and it's
That's good.
just like the questions were just so stupid.
Yeah.
One question was something like, "How do you kill a werewolf?" And it was like marmalade, shoe polish, cardboard box, something else. I don't even know, but
Yeah.
I just remember that the answer was shoe polish, and I have no idea why. But
But
you just played through and tried the different answers, and then had to
yeah,
remember
yeah.
them all.
That's cool.
It was kind of a wild west of flash games, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean that's where you get like not the sort of, you know, leaving the market to do its thing and it'll sort itself out, or that kind of was it laissez-faire attitude is good. It's like let people like just no control. Let the banks do what they want. Let corporations do what they want. Like obviously not good. But when it's in like for creative stuff to a certain extent, and there's not like
Well,
anything holding back these creators, they can just make some proper weird, cool shit,
yeah,
which I do quite like.
I guess the main thing is like the Flash games were all free, like that we were playing. So it wasn't really like it's just somebody had made a game and put it up there.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like this element of trying to make money, or like
Exactly.
even really trying to get you to play it.
They were just putting it out there.
It's just
super
there.
Cool.
There might have been ads. There probably were some amount of ads, which bothered me less as a kid.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they were less. They actually were less obnoxious, or I just didn't care as much.
They were definitely less intrusive when we were kids. Now it's like you go on fucking what was I on? So I use this website called El País, which means the nation, which is like it's like the BBC for Spain basically. They obviously have like an English section, or like a version because there's tons of expats here. So I use that as like my main source of news for shit going down in Spain, mostly about how bad coronavirus is. So cool, great.
Yeah.
But it's like it's probably I don't even know if it is like actual like national journalism or whatever you call it, but it's the biggest one, and the fucking actual newspaper part is literally like a third of the screen. It's literally like a tiny corridor in the middle, and then the background is a gigantic ad. There's more ads popping up everywhere, and I'm like, you're supposed to be like a free, like objective, like news source for like the citizens of Spain, and there's a fucking ad for like Lucasade that's just like purple and is like obstructing or making it hard to read like the important articles, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it is like
my head in.
I have obviously like mixed feelings about that. As a kid, I used to not love ads, but I loved that so much was free to me because of ads. Like I was not going to spend any money. I didn't really have like my own money to spend, and like I could have probably my parents would have bought me a game, but not the amount that I was able to play because there was a couple of ads on the screen.
Exactly.
And like YouTube, like think about how much free content there is on YouTube because you watch a few ads.
Like when people have a go at like YouTubers that they enjoy watching, and they're like, "This episode took way too long to come out. You need to try harder and get it out sooner." It's like you watch all of this person's stuff for free.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like there's a couple people, like there's one group I watch, and obviously it's just Let's Plays and stuff, but they're a good trio, and I think they put out maybe 5 or 6 episodes a week of like different series or different things, and I maybe only watch two or three of them. But at the end of the day, if I'm getting like an hour or two of free shit that I'm enjoying and being entertained by, I have no like leg to stand on to be like, this took a while. Maybe you could like get your editor to like hurry up with that. Like, no, it's free because of ads or less ads now and more Patreon and that. But
I mean, if like, I guess if you are paying on Patreon or you're like a member on YouTube, and the YouTuber has said up front that there will always be a video out on this day.
Yeah.
Like I can kind of see some of the getting a bit frustrated, but generally,
if you're a patron, is that how they? If you're a patron, then
if you're
sure.
Patron on Patreon.
Yes. God damn it! Why? Yeah, that's like, and if you're putting like a significant amount each month, like 10 quid or whatever, then sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But when you are just getting something for free,
then no.
Like I definitely think that ads have gotten worse, but I also think that people have gotten more entitled.
Fucking absolutely.
Because it was for free. At some point, it's like, well, I have a right to it being free. And like don't get me wrong, I'm not defending companies trying to like squeeze us for more money, and being scummy, but I do think sometimes it's like the energy is like misdirected in terms of people getting angry.
Yeah, definitely. Which is, I guess, back to the game and stuff. Why the fact that there's some ads on some cool website that's like. I think what I liked about it is it's kind of like I think you mentioned like sort of like Wild Westy. Is the fact
Yeah,
that it's literally just like a bunch of dudes or whatever that are just like, let's make this website. People can host their games on it, and that's it. And there's forums and there's game jams and all these like cool little things that make
yeah,
like community. I really, even though I never really got into that and wasn't really a part of that kind of thing, I think that's one of the coolest things about the internet in general is that these like communities spring up from like any kind of hobby or topic or whatever.
yeah. People just doing something weird
Just having a good
usually.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Like if you encountered Blaseball at all.
I've heard of Blaze.
So this is something a guy at work um, put me onto. It's just this website where it's like simulating Blaseball games, which is obviously different to the sport of baseball. But it just has all this
Oh,
really weird stuff. You can like place bets on who's going to win, and the conditions are like there's birds or there's a black hole nearby or some weird like thing like this. People get incinerated.
wow. This looks awesome.
But it's really weird, and just this between like the Reddit and the wiki and the game itself somehow has this massive weird community around it. And that's real recent. That's like even this year. So I know we're talking nostalgia, but there is still like cool stuff popping up.
People, people are going to be so nostalgic about this. Like
Yeah.
in like in 10 years' time, like this is
Do you
cool
remember
shit.
Blaseball?
Baseball, dude. That was. Oh wow, yeah. I might actually have to have a look at this because
Yeah. And that's
like
another
the
thing
Paris
where it's
Review.
like
Yeah,
a free account. You just log in. You have like fake coins and can take
yeah.
part and buy the weird stuff.
And I do love sports simulation. One game that I've not played yet, and I don't know if I ever will because I feel like it will consume me, is Football Manager, where you have all the stats. Like you go into it. You're basically not a football manager. You're like you run a football club basically, but you control like every single aspect.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I feel like it's like that would be like a new addiction for me. Like I don't think it's wise for me to even try it.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like
Yeah.
a fake one, like Blazeball, I feel like I could maybe like dip in and out. I might have to try that and see what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a
That's
little
cool.
we have a little group chat with a few of us from work, and we've all been like talking about it like it's an actual sport, which is just so
That's
silly.
great. I love that.
But it is good fun.
That's dead cool.
So I spoke a little bit about what I was playing as a kid. Um, I mean, obviously, there's some more like I can look over at like the actual like hard copy discs that bring the nostalgia. But
Yeah, yeah.
what were you playing? What was your like similar? Gives you
Um,
that feel that oh, I
that
remember
feel.
that.
Yeah. Fuck. There's probably quite a few, but I guess I'll try and just do like a couple per console, so I'm not talking forever. I'd
We can. I
say
mean, we can always run this into a couple of episodes if we just end up with loads
that's
to
true.
talk about.
Yeah, because there's lots of video games. Um, I guess going like very early. Okay. I'll start from like the beginning. Because I remember I got a PS. I didn't get a PS
In the
One, but
beginning.
in the beginning, my douchebag uncle left his PS One at my parents' house when they moved in. So they were like, "Cool, I guess Matty's got a PS One now." Um, and I was completely nuts for it. So I play like Spyro the Dragon, and Rayman, like the sort of like mascotty platformers, like they were all great.
Yeah.
And Crash Bandicoot. But one that like I remember my dad bought it and I was a bit like, all right, cheers, Dave, thanks, I guess. It probably cost him like 40 quid. So as a kid, but he bought me Space Invaders for the PS1.
Okay.
And obviously it's like an arcade classic,
Yeah.
2D, scrolling, shooting, kill the aliens. But it's a PS1 game, it was all 3D models. It actually looked good. And the sprites and the colours were like crazy. And I was consumed by it, literally. Like, I'd get home from school, run upstairs to the attic, and do you remember when you stayed in mine a couple of times? I had that green couch in my room that folded out onto that double bed.
Yeah.
That if you went onto one side, you'd flip off the other side because of the weight distribution. I'd sit on that couch, and I would play Space Invaders until tea, and then after tea till bed. And I got Space Invaders took off me for a while, unsurprisingly. But yeah, that's like a huge one because I like it, but it's probably not my like go-to kind of thing. But it just completely hooked me.
You know it's good when you have like not playing it has to be imposed on you.
Oh god, there's a lot of those. So that's definitely one. And then maybe I'm trying to think. Because I feel like nostalgic games are the ones for me that maybe I didn't play as much as others, but because they were like weird or different to what I know I like, they stick in my head as nostalgic more. Because I can talk about Pokemon Emerald or Ruby or Fire Red forever, right? But we know that that's there. Maybe there was. Oh, this is a good one. There was do you know Yu-Gi-Oh, the trading card game?
Yeah.
That
was all the rage in primary. We don't.
Yeah.
There was so many falling outs in primary school over Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Because you'd play for a card and then you'd lose it, and then that would.
It would just fucking kick off.
Yeah. As much as it can honestly. Kick off in primary.
Yeah, crying and running to the teacher, basically.
Yeah.
There was a Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Game Boy Advance, and it wasn't like you played as fucking Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. You were just like unnamed protagonist, but you're basically in the world, and you would actually have to go to like card shops and buy new cards and build your deck and just compete and go through the game. And the fact that you didn't have to spend
training you
money,
up for real life.
Oh yeah, 100%. I played that game like non-stop for hours and hours, and it got really hard. I remember thinking as a kid, like Yu-Gi-Oh's like a dumb game where my mum's bought me like the actual like wrist attachment thing to place my fucking cards on.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be dumb, and we're not supposed to like in the TV show, they don't even follow the fucking rules, they just make it up as they go along. And here I am in this like fucking card game on my Game Boy that's kicking my ass. But that was like
I do sometimes wonder that about games from being a kid though. How I'd feel if I played them now. Because there's quite a few games that I remember being brutally hard, or taking forever, or like really specific missions.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, like, if I pick that game up now, would I think, oh, this was actually brutal, or would I just be laughing at my younger self?
I think
like, this is just not a challenge.
Some of them definitely, whereas as a kid you just don't understand the mechanics or what you're supposed to do, so you just bounce off it. But there's other ones that are definitely hard as fuck. Like Crash Bandicoot is a fucking platforming game with a dumb Bandicoot protagonist that's wearing like jean shorts, but hard as fuck. And when they did like the remastered trilogy for PS4, I mean, a few friends played it, and had some beers and stuff. We couldn't get past like the second world. It was genuinely, you had to be so precise. It was insane. So I definitely think
it
can happen. Definitely.
Yeah. There's one game that sticks in my mind for platforming like that, which I don't know if you ever encountered like Nicholas Bluetooth. If that means anything to you.
It does not.
But so there was a game that we had, but it also had like a TV series and these like minifigures.
Okay.
It was a bit weird and sci-fi. The main guy could like transform his arms into things, so he could like have plane wings.
Okay.
It's really weird because like me and my brother used to really love it. Like we had the toys and we'd play with it.
Yeah.
But I've never heard anybody else mention it ever.
I need to look this up.
Do you know? Like it's one of those weird things where a little part of me's like, did this even happen?
Nicholas.
You know, is this just like some weird? Let me just.
Oh my God,
yeah, so
insane.
it was called Galador. Okay,
Galador.
Galador, Defenders of the Outer Dimension, and Nicholas Bluetooth. was
Holy
the-
shit! These fucking toys look insane.
Yeah, they were like mad.
Oh my God, they look horrible. Like the eyes, terrifying.
Yeah, so I had these toys. I had this. Oh, this is the one I remember. Let me.
Wow.
I mean, the people in the video are not gonna just Google Galador
Yeah.
toys, guys, and you'll see. But this is the one I had with the plane wings that fired like the missiles.
Oh wow, Jesus. Very.
We had some of like the
cyberpunk.
other characters as well. But that's a bit of an aside. That's like, I remember loving it as a kid. It had like weird like time travel and space travel, and it was like, it was really good. But the game had this weird platforming bit. You were in like some town with like huts, like some kind of like village thing. And it was one of these ones where you had to like pull a lever or activate a button or something.
Okay.
And the platform appears. And then you have to do the platforming before the timer ticks.
Right.
And then you'd have to go back and pull the button. I just remember sweating over that and just not being able to do it.
Oh my God.
So that's one that's burned into my mind as
Right.
I wonder if I went back to that, would it actually just be easy, or would I be equally frustrated now? I guess.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm trying to think of like another one that's super tough or anything, but I don't think because I didn't have like an SNES or anything, so I wasn't playing like this super hard 90s games. It was all like naughty stuff. But I guess another one that you mentioned when we started recording was Lego Star Wars, which is definitely like
Oh yeah.
one of the best co-op games ever. And even though they started off with like Lego Star Wars 1 was the prequels, which by the time I started to play the game, I was like, they aren't good. Like 8-year-old me knew they weren't good, but still enjoyed that game massively because it was so fun.
Well, that's the funny thing for me is that I played Lego Star Wars before I'd seen the Star Wars
Oh
films.
wow, you got this like crazy version.
I'd not watched. Yeah, but it's so weird because they actually do such a good job of telling the story.
They really do. Even when it's like, I actually love the cutscenes where the Lego characters are just like really goofy and like make everything super silly because there's no voices or anything.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I think that having no voices in it was such a good idea.
Yeah.
It makes it so much.
You got so much charm.
So I can't remember if it's Lego Batman or there is a Lego game I've played anywhere where they do put voices in. And it's just not as good. Just like the scene where Vader is like holding up this like photograph, and like pointing to, "This is me. This is you."
And like the stormtroopers in the jacuzzi, but they've still got their helmets on and they're all wearing like thongs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, they must have had such a good time.
That is so good.
Adding just like these little bits that they must have thought kids are gonna fucking love this.
Yeah, that's one that I'm probably going to play again, like with my brother. I bought it on Steam, and we'll probably do it.
Did you get the complete edition where it's like both in one?
Yeah,
that's such a good idea.
Although there's also like, it's only coming soon, and at the minute it was only recently added to Steam. But there's a Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga they're going to do.
All right.
Which is going to be, from reading it, it should be like all 9
fucking hell. Jesus.
of the main films, which I would be hyped.
That'd be actually cool. Might make me have some more positive thoughts about the new trilogy, at least for the last couple of movies.
The release date is 2020. I mean,
This, dear listener, was when James thought, I'm going to talk about Star Wars, and then we talked about Star Wars for a good 45 minutes. So this is the end of the current podcast, video games, so yeah, bye.